Can I make a reservation at this golf course, please?
No, we're all booked. Sorry.
Man, I came all the way out here for nothing? If only there was a way to make a reservation beforehand.
Are you a golfer who hasn't been able to make bookings ahead of time? Or are you a country club who's had inaccurate, incorrect, or messed up bookings? Meet ParTee, the solution to all of your booking needs.
Imagine you're a golf course manager. Right now, you're probably dealing with phone calls all day long. You have a 2 p.m. slot, but about 4 p.m. You're writing things down on paper and hoping nothing gets double booked. Then sometimes golfers just don't show up. You're losing revenue for no reason. Now imagine you're a golfer. You want to play this Saturday and you call 5 courses. 2 of them are busy, 1 of them doesn't answer you, 1 of them is fully booked, and you decide to drive to the 5th one. And it's close to a tournament. So what are you going to do about this? You're going to do nothing. We have the solution. ParTee solves these problems with 5 core capabilities: real-time availability tracking, multi-user support, and reliable data persistence, along with an intuitive user interface and comprehensive admin functionality to give course managers complete control over hours, pricing, tee time intervals, and course configurations, all from one centralized dashboard. There's so much market opportunity in this sector. Over 16,000 golf courses in the United States generate $28 billion annually, and most of them are still using paper logs or phone-based booking. That's 16,000 potential clients that may need our system. We're not just solving a problem, we're capturing a massive, underserved market. This is the future of golf course management, and ParTee is leading the way.
Now to go over some additional features of our software. Firstly, we have the receive calendar invite option, which can be noted here. Upon clicking this option and completing your reservation, you will receive an email into your inbox, which will give you a direct link to create a calendar time slot for your golf reservation. That way it can save you the user time, so you don't have to spend as much time coordinating when you're golfing, when you got your bathroom breaks, when you're going to school, when you're studying. And it also allows, as the country club, you can know that your users will not forget about their time slots and you won't have no-call no-shows. Nextly, we have multi-device synchronization. We can set up the server on one device, and then all client devices will connect to the server on that device. We also allow for the server IP to be dynamically changed, so if you have to move your server, or if your Wi-Fi goes down and it gets assigned a new IP, you won't have very much downtime because you can very quickly change the server IP. Over the system architecture, we have multiple client connectivity. We have everything being managed by the server. Everything is ran in the singleton database, and then we also have the file persistence stored in the 4 text files. And it should also be noted that it is very thread safe. Over some of the more technical details, so we have the singleton pattern. This allows for there to be no duplicate records, and it prevents conflicts and allows synchronization between all clients that may access the database. We have the re-entrant read-write lock. This allows golfers to browse tee times simultaneously while guaranteeing that only one person at a time can create a booking for that specific time slot. It prevents double bookings. We have the interface-driven design. Every class has an interface. This allows our program to be easily scalable. If you were to need to add new features or new programs, we won't have to go and write interfaces and come up with how we're doing that because we already have interfaces for everything. And then everything is stored in the 4 persistent files. User, which keeps track of all user counts and login info. Reservations, which will keep track of all reservations and events that have been created. Settings, which will allow the golf manager to adjust open hours and block out downtime, for example, if they're doing maintenance on a specific section. And then also events. So if you were to book a major event that needed the whole course for several days at a time, you could also, that is where that files would be stored. So for our testing and quality assurance, we have over 150 test cases that ensure thread safety, data persistence, network I/O, and error handling. These test cases are very comprehensive and ensure that the program runs as smoothly as it should and that we don't have any issues.
ParTee is a complete solution for both golfers and course managers. For course managers, firstly, we have our server control panel, as you can see here. Here, you can set the hours of operation from opening to closing time and the tee time intervals you want for golfers to come in between, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever time you choose for your golfers. You can add user accounts here with the username, password, and all other information, and also the has paid feature, which we'll go on into later for the demo. And you can view all reservations to see if there's any conflicts or anything like that. And you can lock sections for maintenance or block off times for tournaments, which you can also manage here. Next, for our golfers, we have a visual tee time display in real time where you can choose the date, the time, the hole. You can view the course map and see the party size. For up to 4 people, and you can put whether you need a golf cart and send a calendar invite, which we'll also go into later onto our demo. You can book for any party size for up to 200 for our tournaments, and you can cancel very easily.
Enough talking about it. Let's take you through the actual user experience of ParTee from beginning to end. But before we do that, we actually have to get the server up and running. To do that, we have to run server main.java. When we do that, it'll bring up this login menu, where we will log in using the credentials admin test and admin123. When we do that, we'll get this panel, then we'll just press Start Server, which will say Server Listening on port 5050. Now, on the client end of things, we have to run login.java, which will bring up a similar menu, but this time we'll use the credentials user test and user123. Now, as you might see, it says client connected, which means that the client is connected to the server, which means that we're all good. Now, back to the client side of things. we need to press the Make Reservation button, which will bring up this menu right here. Now, there are a few things that we can do to customize our reservation. The first thing that we can do is set a date and time. For this example, we'll choose December 10th. And we'll also choose a time of 11 a.m. The next thing we can customize is what poll we start at. Now we can see what polls there are by viewing the course map. We can zoom in, out, and just like move around the course to see where we want to start. Let's start at poll 3. The next customization is party size, which can go up to 4. Let's choose 3. We can also select whether we want a golf cart, which we will. And for these last two customizations, we'll get to those later. For now, we'll just press the continue button. Now, when we press the continue button, you'll see on the server end that it now has our reservation after we reloaded the page. And it has all of the details that we selected. Now, we can go to the Manage Reservation menu, which will show the reservation that we made. From here, we're able to either edit or delete the reservation that we made. First, we'll edit it. It'll bring up a similar menu to the new reservation that we saw before. So right now, we're just gonna change the time from 11 a.m. to 10 a.m. We'll change the starting hole from 3 to 4, and we'll increase the party size to 4. Everything else will stay the same, and we can update our reservation. On the server end of things, once we reload it, you'll see that everything is now updated. Same thing on the reservation management menu. Next, we can delete the reservation by just pressing the delete button, which will give us a confirmation pop-up, and now we don't have that reservation anymore. Next, we're going to make a special type of reservation called an event. We can do that by pressing Mark as Event. Events differ from normal reservations because they book all holes and also have a party size of 200 people. Otherwise, most of the customizations are the same, so we can choose a date. So for this, we'll choose the 13th. A time, we'll keep it at 9 a.m. Golf cart, and a new customization is the event duration, which can span anywhere from 4 to 48 hours. We'll choose 48 hours for this. Now we'll press continue, and as you can see, we have a very similar menu as before, but a new detail that at the bottom says that we'll be notified when an admin approves of the event. On the admin side of things, if we press Manage Pending Events, we'll see that that event we just booked is right here. And on the client side, we'll see that it says Pending Event. Once we press Approve Selected Event on the admin end, and then confirm yes, now the event is approved. And when we refresh it on the client side, we can see that it goes from pending event to just an event. Let's go back to the main page and go to Account Options. Here, we can change a couple details about the account, such as the username, password, first name, last name, and email. For this presentation, we will change the username from usertest to usertest1. Once we do that, and then reload the user storage, we can see that it changed from usertest to usertest1. Once we log out of the current account, and then try logging back in using the credentials that we had before, being usertest and then user123, we can see that it doesn't work. But if we change from usertest to usertest1, and then try logging in, it works perfectly.
So Connor walked us through some of the more basic functionality and things we added as part of the assignment. Now we're going to go through more advanced functionality and extra things that we added. We start again with the admin side and the user side, but this time, instead of logging in, we're going to click the sign up button to actually create an account. So the first thing it's going to ask is for the email, and we're going to click submit email. What this is going to do is take it to ParTee signup, which is our own email address as part of this, and it will send an automated email with instructions on how to sign up to the email that you submitted. In order to see this, we can pull up our email. As you can see, it asks for two things. First, the country club should verify you, and second, you should reply to the email with your username and full name. So assuming the country club has actually approved you, you'll go ahead and reply, and you'll send that reply. And then on the other side, you want an admin member to check the email and see that a reply has been made when they receive the notification, and use that data to actually log in and create an account. So once it shows up, you can open it, and as you can see, the information is right there. So you pull up the admin's page to create an account, and you add in all the data. One thing to note, the password already has an autofill of temp password, and that's automatically given to all first-time users. When they log in, they will be changing that password. But for now, we can put in all the information, including the email they used to send this email for them. You can check has paid if the country club has confirmed that that has happened, and you click add user. So now all of that data has been entered into the users.txt file for persistence, and it will send an email back to the user telling them, hey, your account has been created. So you can pull it up here. It has all the information that you entered, including an important note that you should change your password, because obviously, as we pointed out, it's temp password. So now if we go back to the user login GUI, we can now log in with that information that we just entered, including temp password. And you can see that that's what we chose. So we hit login, and it tells us to enter a new password. As long as these two fields match, you can create any password that you want, and you'll just put that in, click change the password, and you're successfully in. But now you can log out because we're going to test something else, which is another user functionality. You can see that we changed it to example123 for the password over here. But if you're trying to log in and for some reason you forgot your password, well, you would just click the button that says that. So you're going to click forgot password, you're going to enter your username, and now on file, you know that we have your email address already. So what it's going to do is send you a one-time login code, which is going to be a 6-digit code to your email, and you can put that into your password field instead. So again, pulling up the email, you got 142047. It's always a randomly generated 6-digit code. You can put that in, and again, this is a one-time password. So immediately after logging in, it's going to ask you to do the same thing it did with temp password, where you have to change your password to a new password, which is going to be put in here. Again, as long as new and the old one and the confirm match, you can change your password. You can see over here that it was successfully changed now to password 123. The next thing we're going to go through is some of the more complicated event stuff. So if you click make reservation, Connor already showed us how to make an old event and do that. So now we're going to create what is a conflicting event. So right now, or a conflicting reservation first. So right now, we have it for the 13th at 9 a.m. So if we schedule anything here on that day for any of the holes at that time, it obviously should be conflicting with the existing event, which it tells you, failed to make reservation. Similarly, if we go back and we try to do it with an actual event, if you mark as event, you can choose the same date, same time, and submit. But the only difference here is when creating an event, you actually create an event request because the admin actually has to approve it, which means you can successfully submit the request. The admin is the one who handles conflicts. So when we come to the admin side, you can see that both events are there at the same time, so you can manage the pending events. If you wanted to approve this event, it tells you, hey, by the way, you have conflicting events. So when you click approve event and delete conflicts, it will remove the conflict automatically for you so that the admin doesn't have to do it, approving that event, and you can check that only one event is done here, and on the user side, if you click refresh, it will change from pending event to an actual event. And that's how we handle all conflicts and everything like that. Now, if you go back, you might have noticed in make reservation that there's a button called receive calendar invite. If you check that and actually make a viable reservation, we'll see what happens. So what it'll do is take your email address and basically send you an automated calendar invite that will hold the date for exactly when your reservation is scheduled for. This allows you to quickly and easily check that you get reminded for your information. As you can see, the calendar invite has popped up in the email, and if you open it, you can actually see a calendar which you can say yes to and everything that you would need. The last feature that we wanted to check out was whether a user has actually paid their dues to the country club or not. So for this example, we're going to log in to the login GUI, but this time with a separate account, which we call broke. And in this event, the admin didn't check that they have actually paid, so they should not be able to log in. So as you can see, it's false that they've paid. So now when we press the login button, we do in fact get an error message and they can't log in.
Sharks, have you ever gone to a golf course only to find out that all the spots are booked? With ParTee, golf course reservation system, that'll never be a problem again.
We are asking for $200,000 in exchange for 10% of our company. Together, we can go from click to club in seconds.
All right, one question. What happens if two separate users attempt to book the same reservation time at the exact same time?
Well, ParTee is actually type safe, synchronized, and uses a re-entrance brief light lock that makes sure that there are no double bookings or user conflicts.
Well, what would happen if, like, say the server were to crash or the system was to go down? What would happen then?
Even if the server were to crash, all our data is saved into persistent files, so all the critical data can be brought back up when you revive the server.
Yeah, help me imagine scalability. How exactly would this go, say, across the nation?
Well, ParTee is built from the ground up using interfaces that make it really easy to replicate the database for every new golf course.
Okay. I really like your whole system and your idea. I think it's a really good thing, and it would help a lot of people out. Therefore, I'm out.
I also like your idea. I think I'm going to give you your $200,000, but for 82% of the company and a 12% royalty on that.
I think we were hoping to retain a little more equity in that.
Okay, I mean, his offer was I'll give you guys exactly what you came in here asking for. $200,000 for a 10% stake in the company.
We accept your offer. Let's party together.
Let it go!
And I have no idea.
Next. Oh my.
Enough talking about it. Let me.
Have you ever gone to a golf course?
Party the night away.
Thank you, Mr. Kiwi. Well, with ParTee, type safe, and synchronized system, and no. It's wrong. We need to start on problem.
A lot.